Call this meeting to order and welcome all the visitors here tonight. Thank everyone for being here. And at this time, I'd like to turn this over to Mr. Jones to lead our prayer list and lead us in prayer.
On our prayer list, we have, remember the Dillard family. Hope Dillard's husband, Josh, passed away. Heather Wilmore, Barry Smith's father, and Diana Shoulders. Remember Philip Coffey, it's bus monitor, Laura's husband, he has cancer. The family of Titus Mofield, he was a graduate. He passed away last week. Any other?
I do have one. Mr. Former judge here, Judge David Earl Durham, passed away this week. So him and his family, if you'll keep him in mind.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening in a word of prayer to give thanks for this day and for the many blessings, Father. Father, we ask you to remember these people on this list that I've read. And Father, I ask you to be with each and every one of us tonight and lead us and let us see do your will in everything we do, Father. Search for your will. Father, I ask you to forgive us our sins. Our God and direct us. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hope you all have had a chance to go over your board packet. First item of business is consent items. Do I have a motion on?
Yes, sir. Second.
Lewis, Mr. Jones. Any discussion on? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Superintendent's actions. I hope you've all had a chance to go through all of those. Any questions on them? If not, going to new business. Policy Amendment 4.210, credit recovery. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, let's have a roll call. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Absent. Mr. McCaleb?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
I said yes. Policy Amendment 4.603, promotion and retention. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Jones. Second?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lewis. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I made the motion, approved this last month, and that we have Mr. Winkler write up this letter about our displeasure with this law, and to go along with these other districts that's doing the same thing, and I believe we've got that done. So,
Okay. The motion second. All in favor? What, excuse me?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
we had done the proposed resolution, and I can't take full credit, that was some from other districts that had proposed it. So if the motion that was made, if you want to amend that motion to pass the policy on second reading and adopt this resolution along with it, then that would get that, and we could send that on to the legislature as the other districts have done. This resolution can be passed with that policy passing as well.
So it needs to be amended to add.
To add approval of the resolution as well.
Yeah, amend to add resolution.
He put it in form of the motion.
You put form of motion to amend.
do what?
He's amending his motion to.
Okay,
Yeah.
you amended your motion.
Resolution.
Okay, all right.
No, we just need an amendment of the second.
Okay, then I need a second.
Second.
Uh,
Oh, was he second?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Second.
yeah. Mr. Glover. Now, was there somebody else's discussion on it?
Yeah,
Mr. Manning?
this is pretty strenuous here for these third graders to meet these. Do we feel like the law will change?
I'm sorry.
Do we feel like the law will change?
I can't predict that, Mr. Manning, but I know there's a strong movement, and a lot of districts are seeing the same problems that this district is seeing and how to implement this thing. So I don't know. I can't tell you how to pass the policy because that's what the law says
Yeah,
at the present time.
When we pass this, we're adhering to the new law until.
But you have to, whether you pass the policy or not, you got to adhere to the law. But TSBA, they did follow the law in that, but I know that there's a strong push to try and get the legislature to look at this strongly.
The main problem is, I believe, is 70% of the third graders in the state cannot pass this TCAP test. Therefore, 70% of the students in the state would have to be retained to third grade. And so this is not feasible. It's not a feasible law to have. So,
I don't think anybody around this table agrees with it.
No.
But I don't think we've got an option other than to pass it, but ask for this resolution to be included in it.
correct.
I certainly can't advise you not pass a policy that follows the law. I can't do that.
But I don't
But I
think there's
certainly
anybody here agrees
understand
with it. I don't,
No,
it's
that-
completely unfair.
That's why I asked for the resolution to be done last month.
I don't agree with it at all, but hopefully there'll be enough through the districts and everything else, that maybe it may change.
And I think, Jamie, I asked you, why would we do it? You said, well, it would just show support. It wouldn't change it. It would just show support that we disagreed strongly with it. The rest of the system, that's true.
There's other districts that are doing it, and I think the more that do it, certainly will send a clear message to legislatures at the
But
level.
whether we pass it or not, we're still gonna have to
There's a problem.
about the formula.
Or it's very questionable not to let those decisions have been made in the district level.
Any more discussion?
Well, that was kind of, basically, we have to pass this?
I mean, it's the law. What the TSBA policy is saying, the revision is state law. And that's, whether you pass it as a policy or not, you would have to follow what the state law would.
They're gonna use it in the formula, Tom, when they fund us regardless. Whether we pass the resolution, don't pass it, unless something changes by law. Won't matter what we vote.
But to answer your question, Mr. Mayor, no, sir, you don't have to pass it, you don't have to pass the policy, but the policy does track what the state law is right now, and that's why TSBA did.
But even if we don't pass the policy, although we disagree with it and we're passing this resolution, we've
Have
still
to
got to
follow
follow state law.
Yes.
And it's from my understanding that other districts have passed it, but done the same thing that we've done.
Added a resolution.
I think the only thing, what you're saying politically, it would show that there's a strong support against it if there were several systems there.
Yes. But both of those are certainly within the decision of the board. No, sir, you don't have to pass it, but you would have to apply it either way.
Any more discussion? You happy with your answer, Tom?
The resolution is saying we oppose it, or how's the,
The resolution would say we strongly disagree.
yes,
with what you're
that's,
saying right
yes,
now.
that's,
It's gonna be
yes.
calculated back to, because if 70% of the students across the state is failing, it's gonna be hard for anybody to meet those guidelines, obviously.
Yes, that's what I understood it.
And then hope they'll listen down yonder to everybody else that's lying.
Would it matter if we had you send a letter on our behalf saying we disapprove this? I mean, I know, does it stand?
But this,
You're
This
just,
right here, vote, should, that
Well,
should.
yeah, I will sign that and put it in, we'll send it on, but I think, again, you're chipping away is the point. It's probably me alone, no, but if every superintendent in the state did, yeah, you know what I mean?
Anything else from anybody?
Yeah, I'm still, the resolution is, the policy and the resolution's opposite, right? Okay.
Just saying, that we
That's
did
what
not
I-
agree with what.
So
what the
a
state-
yes and a vote would say, I agree with the resolution, not the policy.
Correct.
Yes,
Policy adopts the change in the law. We
Correct.
can't get past that.
yes.
The resolution says it urges the General Assembly to amend that law to allow school districts to make retention decisions for third and fourth graders as opposed to it being mandated pursuant to the law. So yes, you're passing it, but you're also saying, we understand this is the law, but we believe that it needs to be changed.
Okay.
We can't change that sitting here, but the legislature could. And that's what the resolution is saying, is this board's position. We understand what the law is, we're bound to follow the law, but we do believe it requires amendment, and we urge you to take a look at that.
So a yes says that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, passes the policy and passes the resolution at the same time. Yes, sir.
Everybody understand it now? Okay.
We agree that it's a law, and we agree that it's not right.
We agree, we strongly disagree with that law, yeah.
And to make this sure that everybody understands this, we'll do a roll call on it. How about that? Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Apple's absent. Mr. McCallum?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Okay. Next item on the agenda is permission to name the gym at Forks River Elementary School, the Jerry Lewis Memorial Gym. And at this time, I would like to hear maybe some comment from Mr. Lewis.
Well, I mean, I don't know how to comment. We have a letter of request here from the principal there, and obviously, I mean, it's gonna take a minute. You know, I'm not in this chair to promote my family. And obviously, this man is my father, of which I'm very proud. And he did, I mean, the principal has requested it, he did start the Forks River basketball tournament that still goes on right now. She's indicated in here that that's why she would like to do it, and that the painting of the logo, or whatever you'd like to call it, would be paid out of the Forks River School funds. They still, you know, Daddy passed away in 1970, and they still have his picture right out there when you come in the door, and they still give away sportsmanship trophy every single year since then. I appreciate them feeling that way. I mean, am I in front of the board asking for it to be done? I mean, no, I'm not. I don't know that I would feel like that would be appropriate for me to do that, but the principal has asked for it. Obviously, you know, with it being my father and knowing the time and effort he put into it, I'm appreciative of the board's consideration on it. It's rather difficult to talk about. At any rate, it's not the only facility that we've ever named after an individual, and I believe that the only requirement is that the person be deceased. Of course, that is the case. So there's a lot of things I could say, but it's a difficult topic for me. And at the same time, my role on this board is to do what is best for the children and employees of this county. Now, you know, this is dealing with something that a principal has asked for. I suppose that'd be the same set of circumstances that any other principal has asked for something to do in their school. So, I mean, there's a business end of it, you know. Usually when principals ask for something to go along with it, for me, there can't be, you know, it's impossible for there to not be an emotional end of it. But, you know, you have your packet, you have your letter of request from the principal.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I want to make a motion to approve this.
All right. Mr. Manning, do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis, appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
No other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bid approval for the gasoline fuel. Do I have a motion on that?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is, any discussion?
I'm sorry, you're not.
Okay. Roll call. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. McCallum?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Manning? Yes. Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Yes. The FY23 grant approval. Do I have a motion on that?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Jones? Second?
We skip
Did you skip one?
Yeah, I'm looking
Oh,
at
wait a minute.
E.
One I did, I've got to check in the market things. Just back up here. Special education contracts, transportation. Do I have a motion on that? You
I'll
want
make a
that?
motion.
Mr. Manning, second?
Second.
Well, sorry about that, I apologize. Let's do a roll call. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. McCallum?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Myself, yes. The FY '23 grant approvals, and I had Mr. Jones make a motion on that one. Have a second?
Second.
Do I have any discussion? If not, Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. McCallum?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Okay, approval of a WLD HFR as the architect's engineering firm for the renovation of Carthage Elementary cafeteria and replacement of drain lines. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Yes.
Lewis. Do I have any discussion on this one?
Will this firm go through us to, will we still be approving the bids for they will not go out and subcontract it?
That's something, I don't know, I think once you approve them, they'll be the ones that will go out and pick the individual contractors. But I can get you the exact language of it. But I think that's the way the other one, the same firm was the same way, it's their deal at that point.
You know, I've had an individual reach out to me with a firm he works for that would like to have a chance to bid on the work.
Well, they made that clear, they'd rather stay local. If they got anybody local that's interested, they would be more than
Well,
happy.
we can have a little say that, what I'm saying, just some kind of say in it that they could not bring somebody out of Chattanooga with a company sitting here in Smith County that would be willing to do it too. So,
Not necessarily.
I don't think-
No,
I don't
we
think you
can't,
do that
we
when you
can't
go
do
under
that.
contract.
we did on other issues.
Well,
This would be low bidder.
I'm talking about low bid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
go that way.
No, in other words, no, but now if a company out of Chattanooga had a low bid, we,
Oh, yeah, I know exactly.
I think what he's talking about is two different things. I think he's talking about, once we accept this company, it's their company, like if you're building a house
right,
and you're subbing stuff out
yeah.
to do it. He's saying that he wants the individual power to tell you who to pick for the plumbing and electrics.
well, the way this usually works, Ricky, you correct me if I'm wrong, because you were right here during the building program, I
Right.
comment on the end. You hire an engineering firm or architect firm, you hire them, they take care of all this stuff.
Right.
They do the bidding, the whatever, and then they come back and say, hey, it's gonna cost you.
Right, absolutely.
We don't do that.
But what if they don't put it out for bid?
Oh, they'll have to put, I mean, that's just business, put it out for bid, you know.
Well, they're gonna get probably the cheapest, but bottom line again, they're gonna do who they feel comfortable with and if they're staying in their budget, just like your company or mine, you know.
So for the local companies to put in their bid.
But
So,
They kinda know what we're wanting to spend on this anyway. I mean, they know where.
That's what I'm saying.
They've gotta stay within that pocket.
Right.
I
Right.
think what Marty's asking, can you have some influence on those individual projects? They said they would be happy, they made that clear, they'd rather sub out here, because they feel like they probably do it cheaper than what they're doing, but to say we'd have any say other than tell them,
I think you do. That's plain copy.
Is there a chance to look at that then before they give it to another XYZ company if ABC companies wanting to look at it and bid at it too?
not unless they do the whole package with it, they'd have to be certified for the whole package.
So has it got to be is this the only company that has come to us saying they would like to have this? Have we thrown it out there to anybody else?
We write in the paper, see, the first time we had this company here didn't apply, the second time this company did, and the other one didn't.
How much longer have we got before we could throw it out there to another? I mean,
I think this project's gonna be built and funded by June 2023.
Yeah, this has been out here a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is something that needs to be done, you know,
I
fast.
understand that, but
Yeah.
I'm just-
Months ago, years ago.
Just because you don't bid out the engineering services, those are professional services that don't have to bid.
You
You
don't.
do that based on qualification and experience, what you're doing right here.
So,
Vote to hire.
And then Esther has some individual things too you got to follow.
They're there's some restrictions on the money of how you've got to use it. But the professional services like architects and engineers, you don't put that out to bid, you can do requests for proposals and that type
So
of
they'll
thing.
be responsible for they'll receive the funds for the completion of the deal being done, when the job is done, and we'll pay them and then they'll pay their,
Basically, it's like a turnkey house, you know.
that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
we'll pay them only.
It should just pay them and they would disperse the checks, I would think.
Is that right?
Sir,
You feel that's right, Jamie, on that? In other words, they'll take care of the money. Only one we'll be dealing with far on the money wise will be these people that, if we approve them tonight.
that or they'll submit the individual invoices
Yeah.
for the contractor. Yes, sir. But they'll all filter through them because they have to look at them.
And approve everything that's
before they
done.
Submit them for payment. Yes,
Right.
sir.
So they'll come with us with a proposal for the amount.
You'll come back in and show you what each thing will be. Then that'll have to be within the budget that we.
And then they're gonna have whoever's bid. You know.
Okay. So
See-
tonight, it's just, all we're doing is approving the night of this firm.
Yeah,
Right.
it would basically, it takes the politics out of it because they're gonna get who they think's the best. Obviously, the more money they could save, and they wanna save it for us because they want us to keep using them for more projects.
Okay,
All your vote is tonight is to hire them.
okay, all right.
And it's you, I know the last time when we built this middle school and when we done the renovation for all these, and Tommy will agree with me on this one, it's a whole lot smoother to do it this way. Because we're looking at these people. We're not looking at the plumber or the electrician or the block layer. We're looking at these people. They'll be the ones that we deal
Well,
with.
we're hiring subject matter experts to do this
Yeah,
job.
right. So,
And again, this is different than say if you were building a school. If you're building a school, it's gonna be directly the county's money and so on and so on. This is ESSER money, so there's still some more qualifications has to go into that.
right. So,
And this is a job that needs to get done on the ball. I went over there and ate lunch the other day, and they're really struggling to get the food out because their equipment's not working, the drainage isn't what it should be, and things like that. So this is a job that needs to get going.
Should've been done.
This
Should already be done.
This job has been in the process for over a year and a half.
Almost 2 years, I think.
but now we run into a situation on it with fire marshal.
With the fire.
We're trying to stay, we're not actually building on anything. We're trying to stay under roof because of fire marshal, because once we go outside the perimeter of that building, it's a whole new world.
But I agree with Mr. Glover, we don't need to do anything that's under our control to slow down the process.
Correct.
Just,
It needs to hustle up.
so,
They got a freezer that's down, and I mean, and all this stuff should be in that bid, so.
any more discussion on it? If not, Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. McCallum,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Manning.
Yes.
Mr. Glover,
Yes,
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Bid approval for desktop technology. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Mr. Manning. Second?
Second.
Mr. Jones. Any discussion on this? If not, roll call. Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Mr. McCallum.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
Mr. Manning.
Yes.
Mr. Glover.
yes,
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Approval to raise building values and increase coverage for property insurance. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? If not, Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Mr. McCallum.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
Mr. Manning.
Yes.
Mr. Glover.
yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Myself, yes. ESSER 3.0 board approval form. Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. I don't think we need a roll call on that one, do we? All in favor? Opposed? BOE Connect approval. Motion?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lewis? No, second. Mr. Glover? Any discussion? If not, Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. McCallum?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Discussions on transportation, and since this has been put on, a few things have developed. Mr. Smith is working on some numbers that really is incomplete right at the moment. And I guess you'd like to table this for one more month and come
It's
back
been a
with.
short week. I've talked to Diane just a little bit, but we're calling other school systems and we're trying to be fair, show you what they're actually making by the trips and by the hours and so on. I can give you, but it'd be very preliminary, and I think I can show you some ways we might could help the drivers down the road. I think Diane would tell you one of the biggest things we gotta keep is recruitment.
Can't see you, but I've got one question whenever you get ready.
I know this morning Montgomery County was having a job fair today for bus drivers, so it's a situation across the world right now, not just here.
Can I ask?
Yes, sir.
I just want to ask one question, Mr. Director, and I know this might be difficult in a sense because every school system is not going to be the same. But just for our benefit, since we're talking about money, I believe, Mr. McCallum, you brought that up about their salaries and things, correct? Let's make sure we're talking apples and apples and oranges and oranges. In other words, what I, and I'm not speaking for the board, anybody else doesn't want to. What I'd like to see is, how many hours are our people running?
That's what I
And
want.
then how much are they making an hour? And then the same in comparison to other counties, like one might, run 4 hours or something other, but what are they paying? So we
That's
can
what we're
see where we're
seeing, a
standing.
way we could increase actually, because if we get that, other systems, I think your pay scale is based on 3 hours. And if we could look at giving 3.5 or 4 hours, that would be something to maybe add to check sheets and say that it was getting done pre-trip, post-trip, which is supposed to be being done anyway. But it adds to their time, maybe even fuel, and that's what some of these other places were doing to get the time up. But I want to give that to you, and I'm just as fair as I can.
What about the substitute drivers we got, Director? I mean, do you think, are we utilizing them?
She's utilizing every one she can beg with a
So,
CDL.
where I told you there were 14 on the list, some of those people don't actually ever drive, but I have to maintain them as a substitute in the system because of an emergency. Well, Jonathan Bush, he only drives his field trips. Well, I'm using Mr. Towns, but Steve Armstead drives a little, but there are a few names on there that they're not available right now, and when they're available, they'll sometimes work. Of the 14 people that I have on that list as a substitute, there's only, that's me and my 3 mechanics, that's 4 of the 14. Mr. Towns and David Silcox are 2 more, so that's 6 of the 14. So there's only 7 other people out there. And Jonathan doesn't drive unless he doesn't drive bus routes in the morning or afternoon. Unless there was a real emergency, he might do it. He coaches, he's got stuff with the kids. Todd Allen is not available right now. He's doing a big contract with his other work. He can't do it, but as weather gets colder, he'll come in the winter and drive some. So it's not like I have 14 people every day. I can say, hey, come drive a bus. It's literally down to my 3 mechanics have been on a bus every day for 1.5 to 2 years, along with myself. I'm wearing Mr. Towns out. There just really isn't. Shane Baden very seldom drives, but he's going to try to step up and help with a lot of the routes over there in the morning. But there are people that are with the county. They have a CDL with the school bus endorsement and the passenger endorsement. I have to keep them in cycle and do all the same thing with the regular drivers, but they're not really available because of their jobs. So saying I have 14 substitutes, while that's true, is also misleading.
Mr. Lewis.
Mr. Chairman, ma'am, while I'm very sympathetic with her circumstances and, pay and everything else, just like we are any other employee, I do have to still say, though, we're not unique. I believe this is in every county. Would you agree? It's all around us. It's not just us. I mean, we may be able to do something that helps our circumstances, but we're not unique by any means. Just like half the retail businesses around here, where you turn, they've got to sign up hire and sign on bonus, everything else. You can't get it. I mean, I'm sympathetic where we are, and we've got to have them, because I think it's important for those children to be provided transportation. You know, well, the law may not require it, but the law and the right thing is not necessarily always the same thing. I think we should, but we're not unique. I'm sympathetic with you. I think the director's got a good path here to bring us back some comparisons so that we know where we stand and what we can do to adjust, and maybe instead of calling it 3 hours, maybe call it 4 where it makes a change or something. But you know, we're sympathetic. We're trying to do everything we can to help you.
And I guess I probably speak for everybody here, but I just want to say thank you
Yeah,
to our bus
absolutely.
drivers that are working those extra hours. Not only to those bus drivers, but to the ELAs and the teachers that are staying after school and helping watch these kids while we're in transit trying to get from bus to bus. So we're trying to do all we can do and help. So, but we do want to say thank you for your extra time and effort that you are pulling.
I'd like to say I talked with the director today, and I think the year coming up, we're talking about maybe trying to get, it's hard to change in the middle of the year, I understand, but if we could go after some more, I'm not saying benefits, but if it is something that we could do as a board to help these people to get, we might have to up our game a little bit, all I'm saying. And that's just, that's all I'm getting at. Ricky, if we gotta do a little something extra, I don't know what we'll do, but I think you're on the right way, Director, looking at that.
I'll have you, I'll try to, I'm gonna get with Diane after I get everything put together. And then.
And if you needed me on that, if that's possible, you said, hey, I'd be very willing to work with you and her on outside if there's anything I could do.
Anything else? Everybody had a chance to review the policies for October? You have executive session. Reminder, board meeting in November is on the 15th. Meeting in December is on the 13th.
Say that again, I didn't hear you.
It's at the bottom down there. The 15th
There it is.
and then the 13th.
I got it.
Okay.
Don't you quit changing around all that.
Anything else from anybody? Do I have a motion?
So moved. To adjourn. Second.
And second. All in favor? Opposed? I didn't know nobody opposed. Thank y'all all for being here.